Starting to record. I'm starting recording. Bungo. I've got Bongo and Bongo's. That looks like Bongo's going to be the gopher today. Bongo, we got a gopher here. We got a gopher. Uh-oh. We got a gopher here. Bongo. It's like we got us a gopher. That's what Tommy Lee Jones said when Harrison Ford went down into the sewer in The Fugitive, in the tunnel. He says, looks like we got a gopher. He should have said, looks like we got a rat, a sewer rat. Yeah. Oh well. She's always looking for something exciting and interesting to do. She's so young. She's still looking to have fun in life. She wants to have fun. How's everybody doing on a Saturday? Sorry, I went to the clinic I told you yesterday and I wore a mask. And yeah, what are you doing? I wore a mask and only took it off when I was in the exam room and the doctor touched me. He actually touched my neck. Felt my neck and adenoids or lymph nodes. And when I left there, I put my mask right back on and came out. About an hour and a half after I went to sleep last night, I got up, my legs were aching real bad, and I could tell something was wrong. I was feeling sick. Like I was trying to come down with something, or something was trying to attack me, but something inside of me was attacking back. So whatever it was that I picked up at that clinic was there between the doctor and the nurse. It was one of those two that had it attached to them. And either the RSV, the flu, or the COVID vaccine saved me. I'm absolutely positive of that. Bongo! Bongo! Psst. I think she's going to look for a place to squirrel away and settle for a long winter's nap. Let's look at what? Bongo, what you doing, girl? What you doing? I think Neo's on the other side now. There's Neo. Neo decided to give her some space. It's like these young cats nowadays, you can't try to reason with them. They don't have much respect for their elders. That's what Neo says. So I accidentally stopped the recording, so I'll have to splice these together. That's good. I've got that little, see that little light I got on a little mini tripod there? That's that's illuminating the cat's faces. It's kind of giving them a little bit of a side show. Isn't that interesting? Let's see if it'll focus on her. Hey Bongo, look at that mane she's got, you guys. Hey Bongo. Bongo, you good girl. Bongo, do you know your name? Look at that mane she's got. Hey, how you doing, girl? She's got a mane like a male lion. So strange. I think she's a hybrid. I think she's got part of a designer cat in her. What is it, Bongo? Is she gonna chase her tail? Put on a show for us? You gonna put on a show for us, Bongo Wongo? Yeah. You're not ready for a nap, are you? No? No, okay. She's gonna lick her behind. That's when we have to close it off, because this is a family-oriented program, and we're don't want to get our YouTube channel violated for some type of inappropriate content, right? Hey. Okay, she stopped. You know, sometimes you just got an itch there, right? I mean, if you got a butt itch, I remember being a kid and having a butt itch. That's usually because of poor hygiene. Because kids do that, right? Sorry. I might take some throat medicine here in a few minutes. So, woke up this morning, still feeling, I feel like I got a little bit of a fever. So whatever the vaccine I had is attacking whatever I picked up at that clinic. And I'm so glad now that I got those vaccines, because if not, I'd probably be dry heaving at least all morning long and sipping crushed ice and Gatorade, you know, out of a cup for the rest of the day. And if I was lucky, by the end of today, I'd be able to sip on some chicken noodle soup, which they had on sale last week. Campbell's soup was buy one get one free, and I bought a bunch of chicken noodle soup, because sometimes you don't want something beefy, you don't want something vegetable-y. Just chicken noodle soup is shown to have medicinal purposes. So any day of the week, chicken noodle soup is good for you. So today they have, I go to Publix, I always have a list. I don't think I have it in my pocket now. They had the Campbell's Chunky Soup, the big cans, buy one get one. So I got 4 cans of home style or classic chicken noodle soup, but it's the chunky. Something kind of nasty about saying chunky noodle, chunky soup, right? So I got Neo on one side, Bongo on the other. They say they're not social animals. What else did I get from Publix? Let's see. For once, they had the community coffee. The shelf was cleared out for community coffee. Every time it's been on sale, they haven't had any. So I'm starting to get a little bit irritated. Of course, I don't feel good to begin with, right? Because of whatever the vaccine is that's battling something in my body right now. So then I go over to the cat litter, and they've got the 14-pound jugs, buy one get one, and that's cleaned out. This is like 7 o'clock Saturday morning, right after they open. So I guess what you got to do is get there Thursday morning at 7 when they first open, and I'll almost guarantee you there's people outside waiting to clear that stuff out. But buy one get one free. And the cat litter, and there wasn't none of that there. So as I'm shopping, I go all the way over to the far end of the store where the bread and the dairy aisle is. And you know, on the end cap down there in the very far corner of the store, there's 2 shelves of community coffee. It's not what I would usually buy. It's the house blend, I think, or the breakfast blend. They didn't have the house blend. The breakfast blend and something else. And one of them was, the breakfast blend is a medium roast, and I have that every morning along with one of the classic roasts, which is a little bit more bitter. So I got, I think I got 4 boxes of the breakfast blend, and 2 boxes will take me, let's see, 12. I guess 2 boxes last for 12 days, right? Is that what it goes? There's 12 in each one, and I use 2 a day. So yeah, 2 boxes is 12, so I got enough for maybe a month. Before the sale's off, I'm going to go back and try to, I keep saying I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back and get some more, stock up. But they had the Nutri-Grain cherry bars, cherry fruit bars. Those have like 14 grams of whole grains in them, or 14 grams of fiber. And I want to say the Metamucil I take every day almost only has 11 grams. So excellent source of fiber. And cherry flavor. And they're rather quite tasty. The Vita Vita Vegemin. And tasty too. Guys, remember that? I Love Lucy. Now that doesn't go on during the day here. It used to for a long time, and now it's Perry Mason, Matlock. And on Saturday mornings on that channel they have Cannon, which is the big heavy guy. Barnaby Jones, which is Cled Jampet. Jed Clampett. I said Cled Jampet. Jed Clampett. I'm speaking in reverse like the guy on Hee Haw. Let me see if I can show a real quick video of that. The guy speaking on Hee Haw in reverse. Okay, I found it. It's Roy Clark and I forget who that is. Archie Campbell. It's the Cinderella story in reverse. Let's see. Hopefully I won't get a ding on this.
These same stories and tell them backwards, or you can't get the kids' attention.
Tell them backwards?
Yeah. Like, for example, instead of Cinderella, you say Rendersella. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you the story of Cinderella. You learn this, and then you tell it to your kid, all right?
All right.
All right. Once upon a time, in a corn country, there lived a beautiful girl, and her name was Rendersella. Now, Rendersella lived with her mugly other and 2 sad blisters.
Her mugly other. 2 sad
also,
blisters.
in this same corn country, there was a very pransome hince. Now, this pransome hince was going to have a fancy fall, and he invited the people for riles a mouth, especially the pitch reaper.
That's the only ones to invite.
Now, Rendersella's mugly other and her 2 sad blisters, they went out to buy some drancy fesses, you know, to wear to this fancy
sisters.
fall. But Rendersella couldn't go because all she had to wear was some old dirty dag.
Dirty
so
rags.
Finally, the night of the fancy fall arrived, and Rendersella couldn't go, so she just camped down and shrived.
She camped down and shrived.
She had right down there and shrived. And she was kitting her shrine when all at once there appeared before her Gary Mudfather. And
her Gary Mudfather. That's no, I still remember that as a kid, by the way, everybody. The when this guy would talk that way. And this is a kind of a long one. It's a 3-minute version, but he would do just little quick stories talking in reverse like that. Isn't that just so interesting? Let's see what the weather's up to, shall we? Reason we're inside today, it is really nice out. It's nice and sunny. Maybe I should show you the video or show you the outdoors. Right? Would you like to see the outdoors? Now first let's see what the temperature is. Today's forecast is mild in siled in money. We're siled in money and Ampta today. 51 degrees right now. High today. We're at 11 a.m. I actually laid down when I came home from the store and took about an hour nap. I've been having a headache, not a migraine. Feels like the beginning of a migraine, but it's just not progressing. So I would call it a migrate. That's a headache without with a partial migraine. A hygrate or a migrate, that's almost a migraine but a headache. A migrate. 51 degrees. Tonight it's going down it was warmer this morning when I got up. I think it was 58 when I got up this morning, 1:45, or actually it was about 1 o'clock. I guess because I didn't sleep well, I slept later today. Kept trying to get comfortable and my legs hurt and body aches. But that's it. So my body's anybody that says vaccines aren't good for anything or don't work, I'm telling you, this thing is working on me right now. Whatever I caught is something I have an immunity to, and it's fighting it. I mean, I can feel it in my in Bimadi. In Bimadi, that's my body. In Bimadi, I can feel it in Bimadi. Let's take a look outside again, shall we? What do you think? Let's see what the see how much computer we're using here. All right, hard drives, kick into juice. We're using 60% of 70% of our video card because it's processing this video that I'm talking to you on. And it's so strange that the microphone and the capture card are plugged into different USB ports, but somehow it keeps the audio and the video in sync. Isn't that so interesting? What is coming with AI? With AI in the AI in the world. AI in the world. CPU's only at 4%. The GPU's at 70%. So it's cranking out some power. If I go to hardware monitor, I could probably see how many watts it's pulling. But you don't care about that, do you? Let's see what's going on outside today. It is real beautiful out there, but it's when I went out this morning and when I came back from the groceries, went out and fed the cats. There's always this breeze blowing up through our breezeway, and it's really cold just outside our front door. And it looks like none of the Catalunas haven't been by, or the Mossums, or the Nukes. That's the coons, spelled backwards. Nukes, the Nukes, and the Mossums. And the Tacks. The Tacks haven't eaten anything. That's cats spelled backwards. The Tacks, the Mossums, and the Nukes didn't come by for the food this morning. You know, the Nukes. The Nukes like to wash their filthy little hands in the cat's water bowl. And I can always tell on the day that they're here to feed because there's sand and dirt and all sorts of stuff in the little water bowl. And I want to say occasionally they'll turn around and piss or poop in it. You know, just out of, that's just what raccoons do. I told you we had a raccoon and a nuke as a pet in Miami. You know, God bless Aunt Teresa. Talking about Aunt Teresa. Let's see how many. Only at 58%. We had a raccoon, his name was Rocky, and he used to eat, drink, wash his hands, and then poop in the water bowl. So he wasn't potty trained, he was water bowl trained. So I know it's some sort of thing with raccoons to wash their hands and to poop and pee in the water. You know, maybe it makes them, well, maybe it's like a toilet thing, right? Like, why do people poop in water? Can anybody explain that? Of course it's because, oh no, look, there's a bird there. What? Right down here there's a bird. Oh no, the cat's gonna end up getting it. It's not paying attention. It must have missed school, bird school, when they said watch out for cats around the cat feeding bowl. Oh no, there's two of them. It's a mama and papa. You guys stay away from there. You know, when I see them and I'm out there, I chase them away. It's not because I'm mean. It's because the derps get eaten by the tacks, or the tacks. The derps get eaten by the tacks. But the nukes, they're in bed. They're in bed this time of morning. The tukes are nocturnal, nocturnal. Oh, there they went. They flew away. It's nice and sunny out, but it is really chilly. And feeling a bit under the weather, it's probably a better thing that I don't go out there. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I'm not talking in reverse anymore. This is OBS 30.0.2. It's the newest version. Seems to be working okay. I'm just so happy that I'm using my deceased brother's camera that doesn't work anymore, and it puts out this amazing video. And a microphone from Goodwill, software that's free, capture card that only costs $64, and I'm talking to my best friends in the whole world right there. I'm looking at you. And the tacks are in here. The stack. Cats spelled backwards is stack. And the two stack are in here. One tack, two tack, three stack. The two stack are in here. Neo spelled backwards Eon. And Eon's here. And Bongo spelled backward is Ognob. Ognob and Eon. Eon and Ognob are here. They're sacks. No, tacks. They're tacks. T-A-C-S. Or stacks. S-T-A-C. They're stack. Two stack are here. I better watch out or I might end up just talking backwards like this all the time. I told you yesterday at the doctor's office, the lady says, starting with December, say the months in reverse. And it took me a second to start that, but it's like whole different part of my brain had to shift into gear, and I was able to do it. A cognitive test, same as Uncle Donnie. You know, the rumpster. Donnie the rumpster. They didn't ask me about whale, tiger, whale, fish, blah blah. Count backwards from 20. They try to get you to forget the address they just told you. But lo and behold, they didn't know that I'm a trained observer. 28 years as a police officer, right? Well, let's see what other view we got. This one. This is a nice view. Look at just how beautifully sunny it is. And you know, tomorrow it's going to probably start raining again. Will start raining again tomorrow. See if Stephanie's out there. Nope, it's too cold for Stephanie. Stephanie's here. She's here every single day. Sorry, Steph, I had to let that slip out. Maybe they can log on to your CookMac, you know, Facebook, spelled backwards. Kubecaf. It's Facebook spelled backwards. Kubecaf. Maybe one day I'll do a whole video of talking in reverse, but I'll have to write a skit on it so that so I can read it. Because I guarantee you that guy is reading off of a script that's on maybe cheat cards. Is that what they call it? So the weather outside is frightful, and the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. If I was in here, Goo would be on my lap because he loves to be sung to, you know. Goo Goo. So that's spelled, but Goo Goo spelled backwards is Oog Oog. Oog Oog, the cat. She is crashed. She's been up with me since about 1 this morning. I told you I got up a little bit later because I didn't sleep well. Got up 5 minutes before the alarm went off, and which is 1 a.m. And she got up. Stephanie was, I guess, still up. I was in the process of going to bed. And Bongo's been up since then. So look at her sleeping over there. She's exhausted. Neo isn't too far from it either. And it's like people when things... She knows her name. Bongo? Here we go again. Bongo? She's meowing or something. Bongo? These walls are concrete. The windows are just single pane. 40-year-old. House was built in 82, 92, 02, 22, 32 years ago. Single pane aluminum frame windows. They're not very efficient, but they've lasted for how many years? 34 years? 36 years? Whatever. 92, 02, 22, 32 years. And there's no way I would exchange these out for vinyl windows unless I was going to sell the house right away, because I know that vinyl won't last as long. You know, eventually vinyl dry rots and cracks. And it's probably one of the biggest scams going. It costs them practically nothing to make these frames out of plastic. And the plastic isn't going to last 32 years like this aluminum frame has. So personally, I would never change these out. You know, in North Carolina, the military barracks were World War II buildings, you know, the old wooden frame ones. I'll show you a picture of that. See if I can find it. Hold on to your horses. I'll be right back. Hey, this is a picture of my grandfather, your great-grandfather. And if you wonder why police work, if you have a kid that gets interested in crime, Law and Order, Dateline NBC, or just criminal justice stuff, it runs in your blood. It's in your DNA. So there's no telling, somewhere down the road you're going to have some kid you're going to have a kid that just out of the blue may want to go into the army, or he may want to be a fireman. You know, he may just be in love with being a fireman. And this is my grandfather, Joseph, and this was 1920s. Look, they're all pointing their guns at him. So he was the police commissioner. And very interesting how that runs in our blood. And you know, my step-grandfather, John Dwyer, that was my grandmother's second husband after John died. Her first husband, 1937, pancreatic cancer. That's what it amounts to. He used to listen to a radio that had the police frequencies on it. And I loved going over to my grandmother's house when he was home because I loved listening to the police calls. And he had a page with the police codes on it so he could tell what they're talking about. You know, all you had to do was recognize the address and you could figure out what they were going for, how many, and all that. And I suppose that's what got me into having police scanners too. Because down in the pole barn, I think I have 4 or 5 police scanners. And overall, I spent over $2,000 over the years on those. One was an 800 megahertz that I got when we went to a Motorola 800 megahertz system so that your mother could listen to me up in the green swamp. I put up a discone antenna outside. She could listen to the part of town that I was on. She wanted to. I don't know if she ever did or not, 'cause of course I wasn't there. But you know, I could listen to it, and usually I just never did. Hey, I found the picture I was looking for. This is me in front of the team house. And see the old building behind me? That wasn't the barracks, even though I've lived in those buildings before when in training. You know, they put the SF guys in the qualification course in what was known as Old COSCOM. And it was these old drafty World War II buildings just like that. That was our team house. And what they do, because they're so drafty and they're made out of like lighted pine, they burn so quick. It's amazing. And during the winter time, they'd put plastic over the outside of the windows. You'd tack up plastic with a stapler, and that gives you that barrier between the outside and the glass. It's the same thing as a double paned window. You know, it gives you an insulation layer, even though it's just plastic. So I could do that here, and it would give me a great deal of extra efficiency. But it just doesn't get that cold here in the wintertime. You know, this is North Carolina. That's Sergeant Jim there. The Mr. Tough Guy. Yeah, our team house, I think, was on the first floor. That was A Company on the first floor. The sign behind me there, I think, is B Company, and that's up the stairs. That goes up the stairs to the second floor's B Company. And I think there was 6 teams in my building, and rarely was anybody ever there, because everybody's either going out on a mission, coming back, or you're in what's called a training cycle where everybody goes off to school, or most everybody. And then those that don't get to go to school get to pull what's called post support, where you pick up odd jobs here and there on the campus of the post. And I can remember once that one winter I got selected to be one of the accompanying bodyguards of the base general, the 18th Airborne Corps. So I would have to go running with him in the morning because I was an SF guy. I guess they figured I could protect him better than like just a regular soldier. And I remember there was one day we went running, and there was like 20 of us that went running with the general. And we went to the post main exchange, and it was cold out, and he says, okay, I was here at the base exchange last week, and it really upset me that there's so many cigarette butts on the ground. So let's form a line right here. This is the general doing this now. He says, let's form a line right here, and let's go through the parking lot picking up cigarette butts. And you know, if you don't hate people that smoke in the military, you'd learn to. Because if they don't, what's called GI their cigarette butts, that is, they knock out the last of the tobacco, and then they take the filter part and put it in their pocket, because the filter never degrades. The tobacco goes back into the earth, but that nylon filter will stay on the ground for almost ever. So we would go pick those up. That one day I went running with the general. I think it was for a week I did that. And I had been through special operations training, which is the anti-terrorist training. And there's a lot of hand-to-hand combat involved in that with knives and guns and things like that. Uncle Johnny can tell you, he went through it too. SOT. I have a diploma. It's in a glass frame somewhere in the living room. Maybe I should put that behind me on the wall, right? All that stuff. What do you think? I don't know. I'm not big on displaying my accomplishments. You know, if I made it through nursing school and became an RN, yeah, I would put that up on the wall. Gosh, I'd be proud of that. But nope, I spent my college years serving my country, and when I got out, I was 4 years behind everybody I graduated with, and I got 0 credit for being in the military. Isn't that something? When I applied to become a sergeant, and they wanted to know why I didn't have a college degree at the department, I said, well, I spent 4 years in the military. Does that count for anything? And the lady says, well, sorry, but no. So what a rotten bunch of people we got in the world, right? So I didn't have basically the time, because we were always going places and doing things. That bongo all stretched out there. And I think I've talked long enough today. Thanks for spending time with me. Yeah, I think all those old World War II barracks have been torn down now, and they have contemporary buildings. The barracks I lived in, when I would go to that team house in the morning, we'd meet every morning out back for PT at 5 in the morning. And we'd go for a 3 to 7 mile run every single morning and do like calisthenics. Usually the sergeant major was there, and he's up drinking half the night. And yeah, all of us would be there, at least the ones that were in town, which usually wasn't any more than 15 people representing the team. But it was outside that building, that old World War II building. The barracks building, I have a picture of that somewhere. That was a concrete block building, 3 stories tall, I think, 2 or 3 stories. And that was pretty much up to date. Came with these big old lockers. And I think there was 2 to 3 people per room. And everybody shared a bathroom. I love you guys. Thanks for spending time with Ongnab. Bongo, spelled backward, is Ognob. Thanks for spending time with Ognob, Eon and me. Samaj, or Dad spelled forwards and backwards is Dad, but James spelled backwards is Samaj. For Samaj, Eon, and Obnob, we say thank you. Practice talking in backwards so that we can all be backward speakers, so that we can accomplish something in our lives as backward speakers. Peace, love, and throughout the world. Please pray for peace in the world, because if Ukraine loses the battle with Russia, your children, there's a good chance, will be fighting them in Poland and Germany. So write letters to your Republican congressman and tell them, we understand the border's a problem, and it's one that's been going on not just recently, but Ukraine hasn't been going on forever, and we need to get that solved. Let's kick them Russians in the butt, huh? Get them on down the road, and maybe they'll get some sense knocked into them. But I told you before, in the military, that's who I was trained to kill, was Russians, and I was ready, willing and able to kill Russians. They're not our friends, they're our enemies. Please take care of yourselves, your bunnies, your nunnies, and your gods. That's dog spelled backwards. And your other furry friends. Nebraska. That's furry friends spelled backwards. And God loves you. I love you forever and always will. May God allow us to be reasonably happy in this life and in this world. Help us to accept this broken world as it is and not as we would have it. And may we be truly happy with Him forever in the next. I'll be in touch. See you tomorrow. Ognob, Eon, and Samaj say, checking out. Let me get the camera ready. Man, I'm up to over 35 minutes. This is crazy.